Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to Ek Mulaqat. You are watching the English version of the popular Hindi show Ek Mulaqat from Godlywood studio. Here we bring people and we talk to them. You know that there is a difference between learning information and knowledge. Gathering information has been very easy now because of Google and all the other technology that we have. But gathering wisdom, collecting knowledge is getting increasingly difficult. And what is knowledge? How to live life happily in all situations. This is knowledge and this needs wisdom. And where do we gain that wisdom? We have people who have applied their powers and their qualities in life and they have succeeded. And when we talk to them, we are enlightened. We have one such person here in studio, very special person. He is Dr. Kamlesh and he is an expert in neurocognition. Currently, he is the additional professor of physiology in All India Institute of Medical Sciences, Patna. Come, let us talk to him. Doctor, welcome to Ek Mulaqat.
Thank you.
So, it's a very impressive biodata that you have. I was trying to understand it, and you have done studies like, and you have presented papers on different topics. So, I want to start with this neurocognition and how does it impact the life of common people like us?
Thank you for asking the question. Actually, neurocognition is an area about which one should know about, especially the common people. Basically, when we talk about working of brain, there are three processes. One is brain gets information from our periphery, the receptors and the sensory stimulus. Then second step is the processing of information in the brain in different areas. Brain basically amalgamates all the information and then it deducts the useful information out of it. And then finally it gives command to our body for working over those informations. So the central process, the processing of all the information is called cognition.
Okay.
And so whole of the concept of working of brain is basically centered around the cognition.
So what you mean to say is cognition is the ability by which a human being process things and how to move around in life, how to get things done, how to do the regular activities, and how to maybe how to achieve success, how to everything is under cognition.
Exactly. When we see a tiger, suppose,
Okay.
So if a newborn baby, a 1 year boy sees the tiger, he identifies the forms and color, everything, but he doesn't know what actually it is. Is it going to harm us, or is it a thing to play? So then when we give information to him in later life, then he comes to know about its actual implications. So that is what cognition is.
Okay. Like a child is going to play with fire and the child doesn't know that it can hurt, and he puts the hand into the fire and then he get the information that this is not, it is dangerous. That is cognition.
Exactly. So brain basically integrates the information, sensory information, along with all those painful, pleasurable information. Then it creates an outcome and then it stores the information. So if there is some issue with storage of information or gathering it correctly, then there is a problem with cognition. What we see in most of the cases in late adulthood, what we call cognitive disorders, like Alzheimer's. So people are the same people, but due to degeneration of their some part of the brain, they are not able to actually create those central information out of it, and they are not able to perceive it exactly.
So, Doctor, coming into practical ground of the thing, there are a lot of people, maybe mostly when they get aged and old age creeps in, and nobody likes to be old. So, and that is when cognition start to rupture or start to disintegrate. So, what can people do so that even in their 70s and in their 80s, their cognition is still good? Can we do something when they are on their 30s and 40s? Is it possible?
Yes, it is very much possible. Like we say, for keeping your health good, you need to do some kind of exercise to keep yourself fit. Same way, brain also needs exercise. if you keep on giving newer and newer tasks to the brain so that it has to work, it will keep on wiring and rewiring, what is called neuroplasticity. Lot many research is going on in neuroplasticity field, and they came to know earlier when we were children, we used to study that brain cells do not regenerate. Once the cells die, it dies forever. But now we came to know that basically it regenerates. It keep on creating newer and newer connections, and that is what is required. If we are not giving any task to the brain, the pathways keep on degenerating. Besides many disorders and food, and there are so many toxins.
So what you mean to say, there is a lot of difference in the neural pathways of a very common man and someone who is very able and doing a lot of things. So there is a basic difference itself in the brain wiring.
Yes, exactly. More you use your brain, more it is a rewiring kind of thing. Not only that, if you have some bad experience and if you are creating good thoughts, it has been scientifically proved that there is a rewiring of brain, and you are able to forget those bad thoughts and you create good experience out of it. So it is all because of the neuroplasticity.
Okay, so when somebody is brooding over the past, thinking about some very unpleasant thing happened to them in the past, so how can we take help of this neuro thing to help them?
See, basically in brain there are two types of networks. If I talk a little bit of neurophysiology, so one is default mode network and other is task positive network. Normally when we are sitting idle, we are doing nothing, then brain keep on repeating the older things again and again, and that is called default mode network. When we come into action, then there is a switch over from default mode network to task positive network. So brain start working on the newer pathways for the next action to be taken. So whenever there is some problem in the mechanism of the switch over, then there is the issue of neurocognitive disorder. So basically we are supposed to ponder upon or keep on working on newer things so that both the networks keep on switching on, switching off appropriately. Like we talk about effect of meditation and cognitive processing. So we have seen that if you keep on entertaining good thoughts, they keep on rewiring in a newer way, and that is why your brain works in a better way. So that is what came through the many neuroscience researchers.
Okay, Doctor, we of course we want to know from you about the connection of this neuroscience and meditation as a person of science. But before going into that, sleeplessness is a big problem. Maybe due to many reasons. It can be maybe bodily diseases, or I have done something and which make me sleepless nowadays. But sleeplessness is a big problem in the society. So you have done a lot of study on that. You are a specialist on that, if I can say. So what can you tell our audience so that they can take care of this problem, which is nowadays getting worse in the society?
Sleep disorders are a big basket of problem, much more than what we actually perceive.
Yes.
So there are a lot many reasons. Basically what happens, our brain has got an area in the brain where there is many interconnections, and basically again there is a switch. When it switches off, we go into sleep. So it cuts off the connection from higher brain to the lower areas, the basic working area of the brain. What happens when there are so many aspects of sleep? One is getting increased latency. You are going on bed and trying to sleep, and maybe you are rolling over on the bed for 1 hour or so, not getting sleep. So that is called some problem in the induction of sleep. Second is not getting the deeper sleep. So we stage sleep into many components: stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and REM sleep. So these two kinds of issues, one of the biggest culprit in this sleep issues is unfortunately the mobile, which everyone is having in our bed. So the blue light, it has been seen that blue light affects your sleep induction. So we always suggest that if you are going on bed, just keep the mobile in other room, and you will most of your sleep issue related issues will be solved.
Doctor, this is a very interesting advice. But I've heard people saying, we know a kind of, we need not take the mobile to our bed, but it's become increasingly impossible because certain things to text back and things. So how can we do that? I also want to ask you one more very practical thing. A friend of mine told that in childhood he had no problem with this changing timetable of sleep. I mean, normally he sleeps up at 10, and then for 5 or 6 days or even 10 days, he was watching a movie every day till 1 o'clock in the night, and then he was going to sleep. And when he came back into after he stopped that and he came back, he had no problem in sleeping at 10 o'clock again. That was the condition when as kids or as youth. But now he says, if I disrupt my cycle and sleep late for at least 5 days, then I am not able to go back to that 10 o'clock. Then I don't get sleep at 10 o'clock at all. So this is a problem. Where is that elasticity gone? Why is this happening, and what can we do about this?
Every common man even knows we have a biological clock.
Okay.
So it's set limit for everything, including your body weight, to your blood pressure, to your sleep timing.
Okay.
So if you follow that biological clock, if you keep it in time, it will keep on switching on every event in time. If you take your food at 1 o'clock, every day at 1 o'clock you will feel hungry. But if you keep on switching your timing, then the clock altogether gets confused.
Okay.
So if you are altering your sleep pattern, not only sleep pattern will get altered, most of your biological function will get altered.
Okay.
Including your blood pressure, your food habit, everything will get altered, because everything is related to some kind of neurochemistry in the brain. So it is tuned to release a chemical at certain time to activate certain process.
Okay. Doctor, but does this happen after we become adults, or because children doesn't seem to worry about anything? If they want to sleep at 1 o'clock, they do. If they want to sleep at 8 o'clock, they still do. This problem of cyclic pattern, changing of pattern, does it set in after one becomes adulthood?
See, it is an ever-changing process.
Okay.
So our body has got good sort of adaptability. So initially it tries to adapt. It has got a buffering mechanism. But when you keep it to its elastic limit, then it fails. So that is why if you wish to put some good habit, you should start in the childhood itself.
Yes.
Because in childhood you may be able to adapt. Even in adulthood you may be able to adapt. But as you age, you will get more problems, and then you cannot revert back the process.
Yes. This is very important that audience know about this, because some friend of mine also told me, my body, if I eat a lot of sugar, my body just produce maybe enough insulin and it can balance it. But when after a person hits 40, it doesn't happen normally. So you need to be very careful that your body is also losing its elasticity.
Exactly.
It is getting older and older.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yes. So cognition and sleep, doctor. Now we come to the main point, that is from the background of science. Please tell our audience how meditation is found to be effective in cognition. I mean, in solving the sleep problems or many other problems related to that.
Initially, see, in India, it was a kind of practice since ages. If you see in the history, we'll find a long history of being it a part of our day-to-day life. Now the lifestyle changed, and then and when the science has grown up, initially it was thought that all these things are just for the sake of our sort of well-being, but people didn't know what is the science behind it. Now science has grown a lot, and lot many research is going on. So basically, as I told you, the neurochemistry, everything, for every good and bad, that there is a neurochemistry behind it. So again, when we talk about meditation, basically it has been seen that our brain has got different kind of reward areas and punishment area, if I talk use the layman terms. So, but again, their rewiring is very important. So, this meditation, many different types of meditation, no matter what meditation you do, but it has got some scientific basis. So, it changes the neurochemistry and it changes the wiring of the brain, and it actually affects your cognitive process. So, if you do kind of meditation as simple as focusing on your breath, so our breath is well connected with our autonomic nervous system,
Okay.
sympathovagal system, which is responsible for again controlling your certain cognitive areas of brain. It is well connected with certain area of brain, and then it changes the areas accordingly, and that causes your even features like empathy, like love. So there are areas in the brain for those emotions. There are areas for the negative emotions, areas for the positive emotions. So it depends upon how you are giving feedback to the area. It rewires accordingly, and that reflects again to change in the neurochemistry, that reflects into the physical changes in your body. So be it the sleep problem, be it even hypertension, diabetes. People claim that by meditation diabetes could be cured or hypertension could be cured. Even if I do not use the word cure, it is still the fact that you can change the disease process. That is for sure.
So, I mean, we need to look into this option more and more nowadays, because we normally we don't find the connection between sitting still for a few minutes and the reversal of my, as you said, diabetes or blood pressure. But it has been found scientifically. You said that it is affecting a lot. It is helping a
Yes,
lot.
not only that, even recently I have seen that it changes our gene also. So even
Okay.
your longevity, it has been proved that doing meditation for certain hours in a week, you can change the structure of your gene, which is responsible for, there is something called telomerase sequence that changes, which is actually a code for your longevity. Now there is nothing to speculate. In fact, it is already proven fact.
Sir, actually, the theory says that the practice of Rajyoga can cross space and time. So actually, you are backing up it with, scientific studies, and I think it is time for us to sit up and take notice of this, because this is where our real solution lies. Doctor, you have come to the headquarters of Brahmakumaris, and how did you like the place, and what is your takeaway from here?
It was not a pre-planned visit for
Okay.
me. I was knowing about the institute since last many years, and since last 3-4 years, I am also in some kind of research project with a spark wing of your this Brahma Kumari Sanstha, and I got to know about it well in advance. But when it came to visiting here, back in 2011, I came with my family to the Mount Abu, that old office which is still there,
Pandav Bhavan, yes.
Pandav Bhavan. But this time it was certainly unplanned. It was probably God's wish to visit here, and it was a wonderful experience. I never thought of such a big family living in one campus. Everyone is brother and sister to each other, and you can anywhere you can go and take food and eat. It was a wonderful experience. I can't explain in words.
Okay, so it's our wish that you come again and again, and give us wonderful things like this, because it has just been 20 minutes and you have given us a lot of very important information. Thanks a lot, sir, for coming today and enlightening us on especially the things related to sleep, and how should we develop our cognition, and even in old age. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, friends, that was Dr. Kamlesh talking about the implications of science and neurocognition in our day to day life. Dear friends, the message is very clear. We need to develop habits, we need to develop new pathways in our brain, and it can change our life. He said that even genes can be changed by regular meditation. So, that's an indication that the practice which we do, however insignificant it might seem, it can change a lot of things. But we need to do it with patience. Maybe within 2 days we may not get results, but we need to continue the practice, and that is the magic of Rajyoga and healing. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll come with another personality in yet another episode. Till then, it's a bye from all of us in the studio.